Hi everybody, welcome back to Avowed Raw. This is episode number 9. I am Joe the Widget. I don't know why I stretched out 9 like that, but I did. I am joined by my fellow co-host, the merchant killer assassin Kilo?
Yeah, you should have just bailed after the first one.
I did.
Should have just bailed.
Just bail out that merchant thing. That's got to get out of the way.
It's too much, man. I'm a gunslinger, baby.
Yeah. See, now I can roll with that. Next episode, I'll have something that's appropriate.
All right. Prepare it.
Yeah.
Sorry about
man. It's been a week and a half. It's actually been 2 weeks because we weren't able to record last Thursday due to complications in real life. So we apologize about that. But we are back and we are still going.
We are back. Yes, sir.
We have a lot to talk about. Archon is out tonight. It is just me and Kilo.
Yes. Kilo and the Widge.
Avowing it up. I avowed to talk about Avowed.
Avowed. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, totally. So what we're going to do is we have an article that's a very interesting article that Kilo found. And it's called The Big Avowed Interview, Obsidian on Why Full Open World RPGs Aren't Always the Answer. It was done by Eurogamer, one of the more reputable media for gaming, I think. And we're going to dive into our builds a little bit. And my build's actually the final build of my character, my first character, because guess what? I started my second. I'll get into that later. So we're going to get into a little bit of a deep dive of that, and then we'll get into our weeks in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Fairly good game plan.
Yeah.
Obsidian, by the way, we're still waiting for those interviews, so hit us up. Be great.
Right. We would greatly appreciate it. And
at the end of the show, we go over all our contact information, so just skip to the end if you need to.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to us talk the whole time.
As we talk about your game. So this interview.
This interview with Carrie Patel, super interesting. And it's something that I think has come up a lot in the last couple of years, especially in the wake of Starfield, which for all that I love that game, there are complaints out there about it being big, too empty. All right, well, fair enough. If it's not your cup of tea, we still love the game.
Yep. But
it's raised a conversation in the gaming community about, is it really necessary to have these large, vast, open world RPGs? Is that really the way to go?
Yeah, it's always
not. No, it's not necessary.
Way, for those who don't know, Patel is the game director.
Yes.
For Avowed.
Yes, she is. By all accounts, a wonderful woman.
And on top of our interview list.
And yes, indeed, we are not kissing ass to get an interview. So Avowed obviously is taking a different approach. It's definitely a game that you can explore. It's extremely dense. There's things all over the place to see, and you can do as much or as little as you want. They really, really did take it in a great direction.
I do agree with that. I was a little bit worried at first when they were talking about it not being an open world, it's just an open zone concept. Because I had that open world mentality of like Skyrim in my mind, and that's just a bad way to approach it. Yeah,
it's not the same at all. And what Patel says in the article is that they had a very clear experience in mind, something very focused. They had a story to tell in several corners. I'm quoting now. Several corners of this very beautiful world that we wanted to take players through, and we wanted to make sure that experience was dense, entertaining, and varied. And then players are going to roll credits and maybe they'll start a new game.
Guilty.
And the author of the article says it's a very retro approach, and I agree. That's definitely harkens back to, I think we mentioned this last episode. Anybody who's probably around our age going to remember the original Final Fantasy VII, where,
or in my case, if you listen to our other show, Raw and Nerdy, you'll know that my number one game of all time is Chrono Trigger, and it's a very linear focused game. They all were back then.
Yeah, a lot of them were. Final Fantasy VII kind of set apart at the time because I think it was the first major release that had 3 discs because they had so much content.
And it did have open world at certain points in the game.
It did. You could run around and kind of. in a sense. You're running around on the world map, but
Yeah.
it was 60, 70 hours to complete. And that's if you took your time and you went through and you got all the summons and did all the tricks and everything like that. It takes you 60, 70 hours to finish. That's small numbers by today's standards. So have games today gotten too big? You know, I think that's what people are wrestling with right now.
True, and it does take. I know from experience, it takes massive, massive amounts of team members to build a game like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Carrie mentioned in the interview, she said we don't have a 400 person team. That was a complete
Right.
jab at Bethesda's Skyrim because we did have over 400 people on that team.
Right.
They did, so it was a direct nod at that. I liked it.
And this quote I love too from Patel because it says, "There's a degree to which you can't ever fully escape the expectations that come from your own history." And yeah, that makes a lot of sense because we're used to Obsidian, right? Like the big
Yeah.
Obsidian game really got me into Obsidian games was New Vegas, right?
Honestly, I
And
think
that
that was
a
a lot. That was the case for most people.
Yeah, and it was a huge game. So yeah, we're gonna kind of expect that. But and the article even mentions that you can't please everybody. And
Yeah.
as a director, as a creator within Obsidian, she recognizes that. Like you're never gonna make everybody happy. You're just not.
No, so you just try to make your fan base, your core fan base, happy.
Yeah.
And hopefully the
best you
majority.
can. Right. But she did also mention something which I thought was really, really interesting. And the author brought this up in the interview. He wondered why, Avowed does not do companion romances. Just because it is so commonplace, right? Every RPG, you got to have somebody that you can romance or a group of people that you can
Almost, yeah.
romance. Most of them nowadays have it. Even Skyrim, right? You have people you can marry.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, with Mara's neck, the necklace of or the pendant of Mara or whatever it was.
Yep.
Starfield, obviously, Andreja and Sarah
My
and
boo.
Sam and wow,
Barrett.
drew a complete Barrett. Thank you. Wow, how did I draw a blank on that? The guy drove me crazy, not in a good way.
That was
But,
Sam for me, but that's a different game.
Right, but you know what I'm saying. So not doing that, there's a couple of issues with that Patel brought up, and the first thing she brought up was the fact that often when you have romances in games, and I thought this was a really interesting point, when you have when you have romances in games, often as soon as you start romancing that character tends to kind of lose their self. Their character tends to change and their personality, their goals, their interests. It's suddenly it's in service to the romance, narratively speaking.
That's an interesting way to put it, yeah. I can see that in a
Yeah.
way.
Right. And I'm sure I don't know. I didn't feel that way with, like, just for instance, in Starfield. I certainly didn't feel that way with like Andreja or Sarah. They were definitely
Right,
their
exactly.
own rounded out characters, but it didn't necessarily quote unquote serve the romance itself. But I kind of get where they're coming from. And it kind of ties into what we've said before, what I've speculated before, that possibly, it could be because they felt that the romance would, to some degree, lessen or invalidate parts of the overall narrative.
But you could also play devil's advocate on this, and that could easily be taken as just an excuse to the fact they probably just didn't have
Could
time
be.
to do it. Because there's one quote in this that I found very interesting, and
Yeah.
Patel said there were earlier versions and designs where this was going to be a large game, a full open world, and multiplayer was going to be a part of it.
Right.
So I'm guessing they have a deadline because you get a deadline from your publisher, aka Xbox or Microsoft, and
Yeah.
if they can't get the game where they need it to for that release, they got to cut a lot. And romances are not an easy thing to do because you have to write two different dialogue features, at least two dialogue options
Right.
for that character, and different story arcs, and it's a branching story, and that takes time and effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that might be something that's behind what else she said about it, is that when you introduce romance as a mechanic, I thought this was interesting. You go into it, you're literally building systems around it, right? In the code, you know about this, like in the code of the game, as far as, the metrics and the way for the player to continue the romance forward, this, that, and the other. And I thought this was really interesting because I had a conversation with somebody, I think it was on Facebook, talking about, man, podcasting, dude, the brain just stops.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The podcast bug.
yeah, I lost it totally. To talk about romances.
Gather your wits, buddy. You
And
can
the
do it.
system's right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. I'm there. And well, one thing that this person brought up was the fact that, it seems like no matter what you do in the game, like there would be an exchange of words between you and your companions, but it doesn't really matter what you do. They're with you no matter what. You could be evil as hell, but those four people are never going to leave,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of romance is the same way, in which you're talking about a system that would have to grow that would have to grow intrinsically with the player's decisions. Well, it's like that mechanic is not in the game at all, because if there's anything similar already set up, you wouldn't just get Kai losing his shit first time I ever saw that, or Giada being upset with you, but then you have a conversation. It's like, okay, well, all right, done and over with. Like,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, I get you.
do you know what I'm saying? You're picking up what
Yeah.
I'm laying down,
Well, no, because I don't know what you're laying down. It could be nasty.
right? Yeah, you never know with me. So,
The whole,
just
I gotta admit, I was crying a little bit when I read that multiplayer was going to be a part of the game.
yeah,
And I don't
Well,
care
it-
about the full open world thing so much, but man, multiplayer, at least one player with you would have been so fun.
yeah. Like even what was it? Was it Fable 2
Yeah.
or Fable?
Yeah.
I remember playing a Fable game, and you could port in characters, we'd port in my kid's character in my game and run around doing quests and stuff like that. Like even the ability to do that, to have just two people run around the same world, would have been really cool. You know what? But a lot of these RPGs lately, a lot of people have been wanting multiplayer, but none of them are doing it.
I noticed that.
We heard it with Starfield.
Hmm.
We've heard it with Skyrim back before ESO was a thing.
Honestly,
Like,
though,
that-
building multiplayer into a game is a whole coding nightmare in itself.
oh, I'm sure it is.
It's not as simple as easy as turning on an IP switch and saying, here you go, you can join the game. No.
Right.
If you look at a lot of these RPGs, it's especially Avowed, how it's player choice.
Yeah.
So if someone joins your game and you're already on a completely different story arc and things happen completely different in your world than their world, that can break a lot of things.
Yeah. I imagine it would.
I think the only way you'd be able to do it is if two people were like local multiplayer, were they able to start the game together and have to finish it together.
Right. Yeah. I can't wrap my head around, like, I have a basic understanding about how games are made, but wrapping my head around how you would take something like this and,
You have to
okay,
come up with
now
whole
we
new
can have
systems
like,
too. It's a whole different balancing game. Like you have to change the difficulty of all
Right.
the enemies to account for two different powerhouses coming at them. You also have to change a little bit of the combat mechanics because it's not the same thing when you're dealing with multiple
Right.
enemies. You also have to change who is going to be able to make the decisions and why.
right.
That's a whole lot to it.
Yeah, sounds like a lot. I mean, maybe someday in the future, it would be cool to see, the whole greater Aora as like a multiplayer Elder Scrolls Online style
Yeah,
thing.
MMO.
That would be cool. I think it's got the potential. It's a strangely gritty, slightly twisted, but also fantastical, colorful kind of world. I think that would be a lot of fun to be able to run around with your buddies in.
I agree. That's why I cried a little bit inside when I saw they were planning
When you saw
to have
that,
multiplayer. And the last quote
Absolutely.
I saw that interests me is it was the wonderful thing about the reception Avowed has gotten is it shows that there is certainly an appetite for new fantasy IPs.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yep. I would
that's
agree with that.
Very, very clear. It's like a void in the game industry right now for solid fantasy RPGs.
Well, I mean, it really is. Name the last great fantasy RPG.
And most people would say Skyrim.
Skyrim. That's what it was. There hasn't been any left. Bethesda has been kind of dragging us along on Elder Scrolls 6 for a decade, So, yeah, I think that quote was absolutely
And
correct.
that came out almost, 10 years ago?
What's that? Elder Scroll,
Skyrim.
like Skyrim?
Mm-hmm.
2011, if memory serves me right. I'm sure someone on the internet will correct
So
me.
14 years? Let me see.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. 4 or 5 different editions. It's the same damn game. But when we were like the golden age of video games, right? We're talking like mid to late 90s, early aughts. There were a bunch of great fantasy games that came out during that time. And then really Zelda, and then we had Skyrim, and we haven't really had anything really significant before. And I think it's one of the reasons that people like Avowed. It's the reason I like Avowed, that it is this new world to explore, this new fantasy world.
Refreshing. It's a new combat system. It's great.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
I've been loving it.
Fully agree.
So why don't we get into our characters?
Yeah, we were talking. Yep.
I'm booting up the game right now.
Yeah, we wanted to. We mentioned this last episode. We wanted to kind of get into our own characters and what we've been playing. I'm the slow guy in the group. I have not yet completed the game, as you'll find out.
I just loaded in my new character.
Widget has. Oh, yeah, see, there you go.
So I gotta go to my old one. There we go. So how have you been building your character? Let's get some gory details.
Well, I mean, I basically just started out with a basic idea and just went for what looked cool. And it's magically worked out. I eventually... Well, because I wasn't sure in the beginning when I started her that I was going to go with guns necessarily. But I wanted to do a ranger. So her name is Cinder. I mentioned that on a previous episode. And I went with Vanguard Scout. And I've been pretty heavily throwing my attribute points into dexterity and perception.
Well, yeah.
Because obviously. But I've also been trying to keep the others a little bit more even. So I guess I'll start with my attributes. I guess we'll start there.
Yep.
I got a 5 in, I got a 5 in might, but that comes from clothing. I'm not sure what.
Well, yeah.
Something I'm wearing gives me extra might.
If you click on, you can't click on it because you don't have the game open, but yeah.
I cannot click on it. Okay. It's all good. I got my Constitution to 5 because I'm trying to keep my, health up a little bit. Not that that's really much of a problem. It's freaking ridiculous at this point. My dexterity is at a 5, and that's for the attack and action speed. Okay. Perception is a 6. That's my highest stat because I'm going for that maximum range and that critical hit chance. Yeah. Yep. And then my intellect is 4. Again, that comes from a piece of armor or something that I'm wearing because I don't really.
So you're running around. I don't use. You're a gunslinging dumbass.
Pretty much. I don't use. Oh yeah, a little dopey, I guess. I've fallen off a couple cliffs. That's not a lie. But I don't use essence. I'm not really necessarily worried about elemental resistance. It's kind of low for me. I guess that's kind of my dump stat. And then I got resolve, which is 5, and that's. It's stamina and second wind. I don't use second wind. Well, I don't have to use second wind much. I don't go down much. And as far as stamina is concerned, the most I use stamina is only when I'm holding the trigger to fire a power shot.
Yeah.
And I don't have to use it. I've never held down the trigger all the way until the stamina bar runs out. And then the stamina bar shoots right back up anyways. So again, not a priority. I am level 22. I have 626 health. 270 essence for some damn reason. Stamina is 346. Damage reduction is 20%. I just recently upgraded because I've been working on some of my abilities to where I can wear heavier armor.
Oh, okay. And without the penalties?
I got without as much as the penalties.
Right.
Damage reduction is 47. Base critical hit chance is 40%.
Dang. Yeah, you got almost double me.
Yeah, how crazy is that? I almost have a 1 in 2 chance of getting a critical every shot. It's beautiful. And the bonus damage on a critical is 75% for me.
Jeez, that's 25% more than me.
That's what I've been leaning towards, man, because I want those shots to count.
I might have broke it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my critical hit chance on my loadouts is all 3% all the way down.
I have 6% on my main hand. I don't know where, though.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the discrepancy is there. Well, yeah, it's just all my guns. All my guns have 3%, I guess, plus 3%.
Yeah, it's probably my wand.
This is freaking golden, dude. I wish I could remember exactly where I got this. I want to say it was Naku Cabal. No. Paris Promise. That was from I did the Spirit Guide 3 test thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got that from that. It's the Trapsmith Safeguard, and it literally negates all physical damage from traps.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so that might have been early. I don't know, because I remember I was going through all these traps, and I think it was might have been part of the Wit Challenge, and I'm going through and I'm ducking and I'm dodging and I'm you know like timing everything, and then I get to a point where this flame jet comes out from the wall, and my character is red, and I'm taking no damage. I'm like, oh, I could have just ran through that, like somebody with low intellect, and it did no damage. So that's pretty awesome if you suck at traps like I do.
Yeah,
I
I
got the
did too.
tricksters. I got the tricksters gloves, which gives me a plus 25% to critical damage. There's that big boost there. Plus 1% critical hit. I got the Hawkeye focus, which is plus 10 damage to ranged weapons. And then I like the third Borden boots just because it gives me plus 20 max health. It gives you another 30 carrying capacity, but
I never really had a big problem with that.
I never had an I have yet to have an issue with carrying capacity.
You just break everything down.
Yeah, it's not really that big of a deal. I don't like carry back and sell stuff. Oh yeah. Did you ever? Okay, so I got the Ring of Prosperity's Fortune,
Yes.
the power of money. Critical hit chance increases with your
Yes.
total wealth.
I never did a test on that.
You never
To
tested
verify
that?
it,
Okay,
no.
interesting. Because I'm, yeah, damn it. I now I'm looking at it. I'm like, I never looked at it either.
It's not that hard to test it. I just forgot to do it. Because you
Right,
got all your
yeah, I know.
stats right there. You just put it on where your wealth is.
Right,
and
and see.
gain
Yeah,
a little bit more money after you sell something and see the difference in it. And yeah.
right, exactly. I guess I only have one. Yeah, I have only. Oh, my activated god total is Scales of the Oathbinder. That's where my plus 2 intellect and plus 2 resolve comes from. It's actually 2 and 3 base because I'm a genius.
Yeah.
And then reviving a companion grants rapid health and essence regeneration. Let's see here. Should we get into abilities too?
Yeah, let me go over my stuff.
Oh yeah,
real
we're
quick.
getting. Yeah, go get yourself down to abilities, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, okay, I went up 5%. Interesting.
And what?
I changed out the ring to Ring of Prosperity's Fortune just to see, and I went up 5% crit. And I have 37,000.
Well, that's interesting.
And I forgot what ring I was just wearing.
Oh,
Oh, that one. Ragnar's Clarity. Okay, there we go. So my guy, I built him kind of like your typical geeky, frail, hyper-intelligent, knows everything type of guy and notices everything.
okay. So you self-insert.
Not quite. I'm actually not, 100 pounds soaking wet. But my guy, he only has 3 points in might, and that's just off of base. I did nothing else for might because I didn't need it. I only have 3 points in resolve, and that's just based off of base.
Gotcha.
I do have Constitution of 7, though, because I wanted to get maximum health up, and 2 points of that's from Kai's training.
Yeah, I got points from Kai's training too.
I have a 5 base in dexterity, nothing additional for that. And that was just to get my attack speed up a little bit. My perception's a 9. 3 base
Oh,
plus
wow.
3 different things that gave me 2 perception each.
What was your level again?
I am 29.
Oh, okay. You're up there a bit.
Yeah, and when I ended the game, I was about to hit level 30. I was 8,000 experience away, it looks like.
Oh, wow.
If I would have known that, I probably just went and did it. I have intellect of 15. So
Oh.
50 maximum
Smart guy.
essence, 60% elemental resistance, which saved my neck a few times. I have a 7 base, but then I get the rest of the points from gear. And I really focused on that a lot. Like the Ranger's Ragnar's Clarity gives 2. Pearlescent Icoshadrol Hellstone gave me 40 or 4. Giada's Training gave me 2. And Obscure's Vantage gave me 2. So I focused heavily on intellect, obviously because I'm a magic user. So I only had 378 health, but I had 402 essence.
Oh,
And those AoE spells are costly. So I was glad to do it.
so you need all that essence, absolutely.
Yeah. And I had the same damage reduction as you at 20%. And I was wearing a robe,
Okay.
light armor.
Nice.
Additional damage reduction is 83. But I have my
That's a
robe
lot.
almost to legendary. Or it's
Okay.
legendary, but it's legendary tier 2. Almost at a tier
Gotcha.
3. The only things I got to legendary tier 3 were my wand and my grimoire. And I used the same wand the entire way through after I got it. Minoletta's Conduit. the electric one. It served me well the
Yeah.
entire time.
Nice.
And of course, I got the skin grimoire, which was freaky, but it had things I needed, so I used it. And Heaven Strike is my secondary, which was fun. But anyway, main hand critical 6%, like I said.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Rangers Clarity.
What's giving you that
Warmonger's
6%? I'm wondering why
That's
you.
what I was
what the
wondering
diff-
too.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at that, and I don't sight beyond eyes. I mean, I was thinking maybe it was my totem, which gave me 2 intellect and 2 perception, which was awesome. Oh yeah, I think it's my one. My one has a 9% critical hit chance,
Okay.
so that's where it went.
And that's the almost fully legendary.
Yeah, it is
wand?
fully maxed out.
Oh, okay.
Did you look at what your things killed were?
Yeah, I did. Hang on, let me get down to it. Okay, level 22. Now I just got to Gallowin's tusks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 75 beetles.
124.
Okay.
I killed a
Jeez.
lot of them.
Yeah. They're all over Gallowin's tusks,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm sure that number will go up.
You're gonna probably surpass me by the end of that.
35 bears.
I had
lose yours?
52.
Okay. 58 blights.
58 blights. Man, I got
Yeah.
you smoked on that. 118.
Holy cow. It's like double. Dalmagins killed 24.
25. Got one more.
Interesting. That's weird. Ogres killed 3.
6.
Revenants 8.
10. Skeletons, though. That one, the next one should be pretty high. Like, I had 351 skeletons killed.
Mine was 124 so far.
Yeah, that'll increase. I don't know if you'll get another 200, but that's... Oh, I know why that happened, too. Remember what last episode
Is
I
that
talked about
the-
that endless thing
When you
I
got
did?
stuck in the room, you were supposed
Yep.
to, where you were supposed
Tons
to
of
escape and you
skeletons.
stayed there anyways.
I think I probably killed
That could have been
them there. Spiders killed
137 spiders, 137.
353. But I think the spiders
90
were, it was skeletons and spiders in that, so that has to be where it came from.
That might be your boost there. Yeah. Sporelings, 96.
130.
Okay, that's a little closer. 226 Zerps.
362. That was my highest killed amount.
Oh, wow. All right, 59 stealth kills.
43. So you definitely got me on that. I don't even know how I got 43.
Well, 59 is because I'll sit back on a ridge or something and snipe. I'm pulling the widget. That's where my stealth kills are coming from. Pulling the widget.
Nice.
I
These
completed
last-
14 bounties.
This is I was
Oh,
gonna say,
go
this is the last few stats are interesting because I did 19 bounties. I did all of them.
Okay, I haven't got
You haven't done all of them yet because you're in the
bounty
final zone.
board in Galloway tusks. Yeah, I lied once.
I've lied 8 times. I didn't know I lied. How?
No bribes.
None.
Usually no bribes. Violent resolutions 6.
2.
Well, that speaks to our personalities, I think. Peaceful resolutions 4.
13.
Okay. Yeah. We're playing much different people.
Yeah. Let's talk about your abilities.
Why not? Let's see. Maybe go backwards. There we go. All right. So I don't know if I've missed something. I know every time I've had the chance to get an ability, I believe that I've gotten one. For the godlike, I got Divine Thorn,
Yeah,
Dream
everyone gets
Touch.
that.
I know what I did. Hang on. No, I know what I did. Thorn of Sapidol, Remembrance of Nimana, and Godlike's Will.
Okay.
But I rejected Sapidol's gift.
Oh, so you got the
I got the ability point
bonus.
increase. Yeah.
I have almost all my spots in Godlike filled, except for one because it changed to a different one. Because I had Dream Touch, but that got evolved into Seeds of Vengeance. So Dream Touch got grayed out. But I have Thorn of Sapidol, Severed Branch. I have all the Remembrance,
Okay.
including the Remembrance of Sapidol, which happens in the 5th zone. And I got Sapidol's Fury, which I'm going to talk about on my playthrough because it's freaking amazing.
All right. That's cool, man. Let's see. Fighter abilities, constant recovery. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go through this a different way because I took screenshots of those. Let's see. We'll do it this way. Toughness, which increases your maximum health, obviously. Armored Grace. That's where I'm unlocking the dropping the penalties for heavy and medium armor.
Yeah,
I'm at rank 2 in there. Yeah. Inspiring Triumph, which is really cool. Killing enemies restores 10% of your companion's maximum health.
that's
Which is nice
good.
when
That's
huge
the-
mobs.
Yeah, level 20 ability.
Yeah. And then I I got a rank in Tanglefoot and Ranger.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, I think you're required. You pretty much have to take it. Scavenger, I got both ranks in that, so I
Yeah,
can
I
get my
had to do that
crafting
too.
materials. Huge
Very,
help.
very useful.
Yeah. Steady aim. Holding your power attack with a bow or gun slows time by 25%.
On my new character,
Beautiful.
that's the second thing I got.
I'm all the way at rank 3, baby. Slow time by 75%. Yeah, that's
Well,
good.
even just doing 25% has been useful with my bow. But getting that playthrough.
Oh, I'm sure. A quick switch. I got the first rank in that, which is just makes it faster to swap out your weapons. Because that's
I
one
can
thing I
see the
usually run
usefulness of
into
that,
is,
yeah.
well, I'll take a shot and then I'll take a second shot and then I'll realize, oh wait, I don't have time to reload.
So
So I
you
have
switch 'em out.
yeah, I'm getting rushed, so I just got to whip out the pistols and handle business.
So you got rank 2 in that, or no?
No, I just got the first one.
Because rank 2 is like it would be super useful for you. Guns in your inactive loadout reload automatically after 3 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes and no. I usually, I mean, maybe I might consider that because usually I go to the pistols and just keep going until I can swap back and have, the 2 seconds it takes to reload. So I also got, this is where my criticals come from. Critical strike. Increase your critical hit chance by 20%. That's at rank 3.
Nice.
And then I got this fun one that I stumbled upon and I tried and I really like it and I recommend it. It's Bear Ally.
I was looking at that, thinking about taking that, my new character.
Yeah. Yeah. It summons a bear to aid you in battle for 30 seconds.
And it can taunt at rank
It's
2.
amazing. At rank 2, it roars when summoned, which taunts enemies and increases the damage it does, like barbarian stuff. And then at rank 3, it lasts 45 seconds. But I haven't ranked that one up yet because I was focusing on all my sniper stuff.
I am Sniper is going to be my number one go-to the second I hit level 15, though.
That's the way to go, man.
Increases range weapon damage against unaware enemies by 25%, and it goes up to 40% by rank 3. That could be
Especially
crucial
if
with
you,
my new build.
dude, if you can zoom in on a boss, like from a cliff edge or even just from far enough away, and you got that extra range from sharpshooter, it
Yeah.
it absolutely, yeah, you could drop the boss in like 2-3 hits maybe, and you're back. Like for me, I'm back to my pistols before the rest of the little minions get to me, and then it's just boom, it's John Wick time.
I already have a good build idea for my little stealth sniper I'm working on.
Okay, you're gonna save that for another episode.
Yep,
Okay.
I am.
What are your abilities,
I got some
man?
ideas. So I didn't put anything into fighter at all. Absolutely nothing. Originally, I had a point in
Okay.
constant recovery, but I respect. I think I talked about that a couple episodes ago, or last episode.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it.
The only thing I have that's not wizard is I got scavenger and ranger. That's it. But everything I have is complete wizard. I went full magic.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I have minor missiles maxed out, so 6 missiles, which is my go-to single target spell. And
Nice.
I refresh it quick with my abilities. I got rank 2 in armored essence, so that my light armor, my essence penalty is down by 25. It's practically nothing. Now, I did a lot of because you got two sides of the wizard. You have your spells that you can unlock, and then you have your core abilities on the left. And I went heavy core. Like
Okay.
level 5, I have
Okay.
every core ability max ranked. So blast
Okay.
is rank 3, which gives me my power attacks with wand explode on impact, dealing damage. And at rank 3, it does serious damage. And top of that, I can bounce my shots when I do power attacks with my wand.
Oh,
up to
that's
2
so
different
that's
enemies.
dope.
It goes
didn't
insane.
know you
It's
could
like
do
like a cascading effect when I do my power attacks. I went full
Nice.
wantard here. You never go full wantard. Wand mastery is maxed out, so increases damage with wands by 50%. I maxed out Grimoire mastery, so I can unlock my level 20 Grimoire spells. And then at level 10, I got Harvest Essence. I put 1 point into, and that was the last point I put into because I just wanted to dump it somewhere.
Okay.
I never really saw a need for those because I just use essence potions and things like that to rebuild and food.
Right. Right.
And I have 1 point in Heart of Storm and level 15. Because level 15, you get your elements that you can increase the accumulation of your elements. So I just increased my
Yeah.
shock a little bit because of my wand. My wand's the shock ability.
Right. Right.
Now, the spells I took, I did take Arcane Veil at rank 3. And that is, if you're playing a wizard, that is a must-have spell. That's going to save your bacon. And you got to get it to rank 3.
Okay.
Grimoire Snap is one of my favorite spells in the game. You just
What
slam
is
your
that?
Grimoire close, and it knocks back everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it stuns them and knocks them back. And I didn't get rank 3 because I didn't care about the essence reduction cost. But at rank 2, I can stun like minor bosses with it, which was beyond useful. I got Returning Storm because, AoE mastery. I had to have my storm, my lightning storm. Got it at rank 3, which that one's probably the most powerful AoE when you rank it out. Because if the enemies that get caught in the initial effect of the storm, they get rooted in place. So I can just slam AoE after AoE on that spot, and it just wipes them out.
That would be great for crowd control. Some of the instances I've been in. Yeah.
Like I said, I'll stay back and see if I can get some like an elevated position and just AoE waste everything in sight. I got Meteor Storm at max rank, and that one I did go to rank 3 because the essence cost on that one was useful because that one's super expensive. It costs 100 to cast. So having it reduced by 20% down to 80 essence was very, very useful. And that's how I built my guy.
Absolutely.
I went full magic.
So full magic. It really is worth noting though, like the multi-classing, especially I would recommend for a new player, things like toughness, like resolve, the abilities that are going to automatically regenerate your health.
Yeah.
And that are going to help you tank some damage. Even if you're playing a wizard, might be good looking into. That's just my personal thing though.
And the main reason I took only those spells is because my Grimoire, it had everything I wanted. The only single target one I had was Blast of Frost, which was nice. But then it came with Missile Salvo, which was my like pure magic missile AoE. A little ball rises up and starts launching magic missiles, everything in its zone.
Oh yeah.
And I had Freezing Pillar for my giant like ice cube comes from the sky and just annihilates everything in sight. So I had that. And I never used Arcane Seal though. I never had the need for it because I never stood in place. So yeah, that's how I built them.
Always moving. That's cool, man. That sounds like a lot of fun. I do think I'm going to go. I do think I'll do like a fighter wizard blend and kind of go like for like a paladin type thing the next go around.
I was just thinking about that for my third playthrough. I'm so hell bent on doing my bow sniper and dual wielding as my secondary weaponry.
Yeah,
and I'm having a blast with that. So we're getting pretty late, so let's go through. This might be a longer episode, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. You want to start with yours?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
And I noticed something when I was in the 5th zone, that you get a ton of upgrade material, and they're all legendary upgrade materials. And yet, I still was only able to upgrade my weapons to full max. That's it.
Not your my robe?
No.
Your robes. Yeah.
No? Could not get it maxed out. Like, I was one short of that. My rifle, I was one short because every one of my weapons used the glasswood branch.
Well, it gets so freaking expensive. There's one. What was it? It's not my arquebus. I think it's K-Rix Pride. There's something. I need like 44 some rare red item.
Yeah.
Like it gets to be pretty steep.
You'll get plenty of that in the 5th zone. I'll say that much.
Oh, okay.
If I had like one major criticism, because I did finish the game, is directly at you, Obsidian. Cut back on the damn dream scenes, please. By a lot.
Dude.
It was getting so aggravating because I would go to a camp just to fast travel somewhere. Immediately go out of that camp and it puts me right into a dream sequence for 10 minutes. Come on.
Yeah. Listen, after the first 2 or 3 times that Sapidol starts getting a little freaking weird.
Yeah.
We get it.
I found the 5th ancient memory that I didn't know existed until I found it. It was like, oh, okay. And it gave me pretty cool ability. I'm not going to say what. I don't know how do you pronounce. Was it Magfolk? Magfolc?
Yeah, it's Magfolk.
Those guys, are the devil, and they're the ones I hated dealing with in the 5th zone because they're only single target, and they have way more health than I do, and I had to take on 2 at the same time, and that's hell.
I came across one so far, but it was like buried under rubble, and it was like representative, like I don't know if you call it like an avatar or whatever of Wodica, and you have a conversation with that. But you're talking about something totally different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're an enemy you have to deal with in the 5th zone. There's not a whole lot of them, but there's enough to give your life a living hell. I think you'll have an easier time with them than I did, because I did build my character around AoE, and they're just a single target, and it was a mess. But there was one fight, though, where I had to take on 3 of them, including a whole mess of those lizard guys at the same time. That was actually an easier fight for me than taking on 1 or 2 of them individually, because I just used AoE to knock out everything.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
I called my build the AOH, Area of Hell, and it served me well.
Area of Hell. I love that.
And I'm just kind of paraphrasing things as I go here, but for those who
Sure.
know, I chose to free her. I'm willing to see how that played out, and I'm glad I did, because the ending was worth it for that.
Wait.
And honestly, I think that Zone 5 is pretty much like the beginning of the ending of the game. Because of how it plays out, it feels like you're
Okay.
playing through the ending. Because a lot of the choices
Like
that I
epilogue?
made, yeah, a lot of choices I made throughout the
Okay.
story all came to fruition at this point.
Okay.
So I think that's a big part of the ending of the game. And then there's actually a 6th chapter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I got to be honest with you, I completely expected it. And I was right.
Okay.
And it's short, but it's fun. It's very short, but it's definitely the ending. And you'll see why
Okay.
when you get there. And what was funny is I didn't get my second lesson from a companion until I was in the 6th chapter.
Okay, so we're not just okay, are we not just like we're not just missing it, or
I don't know.
like how did that come about?
From what I understand, you could actually get a lesson from all 4 of them if you do things right. So
Right.
I don't know
Maybe
if
we're
I
just
just
not having the
didn't
right
do things right,
conversation. Yeah.
but I got 2 intellect from Giada, so that was a huge bonus for me.
Oh, nice. Heck yeah.
And then I got Sabadell's Fury, and it is so fucking fun. And the only thing that sucks about it is it's got a 1-minute cooldown. But I understand why it does, because
That's a
that
long
spell,
time.
yeah, that spell is super powerful, and it played right into my AOE build perfectly. Just
Heck
it was
yeah.
so satisfying seeing everything get picked up, and then as soon as they get slammed, they're dead. Everything dead.
Nice.
So yeah, I highly recommend it, and you can only get that by a certain route. I don't know what the counter of that spell is if you don't free her, but all I know is that the one I got was worth it. Oh,
What zone did you get that in?
the end of the 5th.
Oh, okay. So that's
You only
later on
get
down
like the 6th
gotcha.
chapter to really play with it, unless you go exploring elsewhere.
Right.
I understand it is like one of those like max level ultimate spells type of thing,
Yeah.
because it is.
Well, I haven't done it yet, but I wanted to go back to like Paradise. I think I actually have a quest where I have to do that for somebody in Galwain's Tusks. I had to go back to Paradise to deliver something or pick something up. I can't remember. But I've been wanting, now that I'm like level 20, 22 now, just go back and just run around in that
Waste.
first zone, just smoking stuff, like no issue.
I did that actually. I
Zero
went back to
factor.
go do something and just wipe the floor with everything. And I went back to do the final bounty because I forgot one of them.
Oh, okay.
And it was too easy.
Gotcha.
All right, dude. I had a 15 intellect check for a dialogue option. 15.
Oh, wow. Really?
And I had 15. And I actually
Nice.
got to do it, and it did not disappoint me at all. It was worth it.
Okay.
I mean, I had just enough to do it.
I've had a lot of checks that were like, especially in this last zone at the end of like Shatterscarp. I was coming across, especially like when you're talking to Ludwin, stuff like that. You get a lot of options, Ludwin and Ringrim, where it's just blank. It says like resolve or intellect, and it's just like blank. I'm like, all right, well, I'm too stupid for this conversation, obviously.
The conversation I was going through had multiple different options for the checks, and all of them got progressively harder and harder and harder. And at the last check, it was that 15 intellect was like the top one. And I found out something. It's kind of a spoiler, but kind of not. I found out that you
go
can
for it.
kill the final boss without ever touching them.
Oh,
That's what I did. That's what I
Interesting.
got for my 15 intellect check. Plus everything else I had to go through to get there. But
oh, wow. Okay.
it was worth it.
I see.
It was so much freaking fun. And I swear I got one of the best endings in the game. It really made me
Okay.
smile. I was enjoying every second of it. And I saw where I could have made it better and
Okay.
how possibly to get the very best ending in the game. There was like 2 different things I needed to change, and that's it.
Okay.
And I was wondering in my new playthrough if I go for that ultimate good ending or if I just stick with one of the bad endings. I think I might stick with one of the bad endings, but I got to see the potential to make the best possible ending in the game, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I like how it
You
went
think
out.
you know how to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Archon's saying that his ending was like this recap of everything he did. Mine wasn't like that. Mine was like everything that happened after everything I did and the fruition of every choice I made. And it was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. I wish it was more animated. They did it kind of like a storybook, but it was worth it. And the second I beat the game, I made my new character. The very second.
very second. You're on it.
Yeah.
You're ready. You're ready. Widget Sniper wants to come out and play.
He had to come out. And I asked in our
Yeah.
Discord chat what I should name it, and Mossy gave me the winning suggestion, and
Which
I can
was?
barely pronounce it. It's
Okay.
Azralim, Azrahlynn.
Yeah, I got
Azrahlynn.
freaking nothing, dude.
Azrahlynn.
The fuck is
Azrahlynn,
that?
yeah.
Azrahlynn.
I thought it was a
Where
cool
did you
name.
get that from? I mean,
It was-
it probably reads better than it sounds.
It's from one of his D&D characters, I believe is what he said.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of his
See,
favorites.
look at
so.
a bonus of being in our Discord. You get to do cool stuff like this.
He
Have
had to
these great
name my second
conversations with us.
character, the one I've been so
There
looking
you
forward
go.
to. I made him a Vanguard Scout.
Okay.
Had to. And, you know, when they loaded the game up and you get that really cool starter animation, I just wish they had more animations like that throughout the game. That's the only one I know of is the very beginning of the game with that cool opening sequence with the animal getting turned into a
Oh, yeah.
mushroom monster.
Yeah, you don't really see a whole lot of that throughout the game, do you?
Mm-mm. I did set my game difficulty to hard. I didn't go psycho like Archon did, but I did go to hard. I want to try it out because I'm doing sniper. I didn't want to go crazy hard and have not be able to snipe or anything.
Right.
And so far, it's kind of successful. I definitely need more skills to make it successful, but I am enjoying the snot out of using my bow. It doesn't do as much damage right now as I would like because I just have the starter bow that I haven't even upgraded yet. I'm barely level 4, I
Right.
think, or 5? 4.
Yeah, you're just a puppy.
Yeah, just
You're a little guy.
I gotta say though, the bow stun ability is pretty dang badass.
Is it?
I like it way more than the wand. The wand, you just kind of get this like power build up. You lift your wand up, and it just gets slammed with three
Right.
different, like multiple different arcane missiles from the ground. With the bow, you sit there and you pull out 4 arrows, draw it back, and launch one at a time at the guy.
Dude.
It's cool. I loved it. So that's where I'm at. I'm in the first zone. My new character. I did the lighthouse, and I did the leap of faith. I didn't do it on my first character.
Oh, okay.
And I've just been going around trying to get things that I know of, and I don't remember where the first unique bow I found was in my first game. But that's obviously what I'm going for. I'm going to try doing medium armor, just try to stay in that, and then Archon's not here, but I went into my loot chest in my camp, and I found the special armor. It was there.
Oh, the one that you got for pre-order.
Yeah, it was not on my first character
Sweet.
because I checked that very slot and it was not there. It was there on this one. And unfortunately, it's all
Nice.
heavy armor, so I'm not going to use it, but it was there.
It was there. That's what matters. That's cool, man.
So I'm really excited to get in this new character and give it a go.
Nice.
Complete 180 from what I did with my first.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to cozy up to some grenades if you want some area of effects stuff.
Which I will be doing. I plan to
Yeah.
get those a lot, as much as I can.
I
and
just-
pick them.
Yeah, I just started getting into those, using them. Like, it's gotten to a point, like, there was one point it was in Galwain's Tusk.
I was looking at the wizard abilities,
There's-
thinking if there's a way I could use one or two of those for my guy, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to stay away from magic for the most part. I thought about doing
Yeah.
the shield, the personal shield, but nah.
Yeah, just lean into it.
So how was your
Challenge
game?
yourself. It was pretty good. I got through Shatterscarp, of course, and I am in Galwain's Tusk. My favorite person in the game right now is Reingrim, the
Okay.
illusion mage
Yeah.
sorcerer who
She's pretty cool.
Yatsley's like
In love with?
head over heels in love with.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
How was...
What?
I maybe jumping the gun, but did you only get 2 choices at the end of Shatterscarp?
Yes,
Okay. From worst to bad?
pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got either Reingrim's choice, which is to separate the Adra,
Yep.
or Ludwin, where you just blow the whole thing up.
Yeah, each involved killing massive amounts of people.
Yeah, I'm no longer welcome in Thirdborn.
Okay, I know what you chose.
Which I
same
had a
thing.
rough go of it, man. Well, then you got that one guy who is like, he's convinced he has Dream Scourge. And he's like, I want to go out on my own terms. And then his granddaughter or whatever is like, don't let him, don't give it to him, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, it's his choice, blah, blah, blah. I got hated from that one too.
I did the same thing.
So I think, yeah, like it's his choice, and I
really
thought
is.
about it, I have a history with that particular subject, obviously. And so at first my knee-jerk reaction was like, no, but then I thought about it. I'm like, if I was terminal and I had the opportunity to, you don't know until you're in that situation, right?
Terminal's
There's a
one thing,
newscast.
but when you're terminal and you know you're going to go
Right.
insane, That's different.
Right. That's different. It actually reminded me. My wife just reminded me of this the other day. There's a local newscaster who used to work here in Detroit, and she ended up getting LASIK surgery. And she had one of the rarest side effects of of the LASIK surgery, where which is ocular headaches.
Oh,
And there is absolutely no cure. There is no cure. There is nothing, literally nothing that they can do for these headaches.
that'd be
And
hell.
they were so severe that she's no longer with us.
Jeez.
So it's like you can look and judge at situations like that, but really it comes down to, and this is why I made my decision in the game, it's on you, man. You want me to get what you need, I get you what you need. I'm
Yeah.
gonna walk away. I'll let you do your thing. You make your choice. It's up to you because I'm not living in your body. I don't know what's going on there. So let's not get too deep into it. But yeah. So needless to say, the granddaughter hated me, and then what's her name said 3 dozen dead. Get out of here while you still have the legs to carry you or whatever. Like, all right, cool. I'm out.
Peace out. I'm done here anyway.
See you later. But dude, I loved Ryan Grimm's Temple. The whole the parable of the village and very pragmatic decisions. And then you get in there, I was cracking up. She's so fun because you get in there and you finally find her, and I'm like tense, right? I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And I see her, and she's like, "Oh, I just let me finish this paragraph. Go ahead and entertain yourself with some of my skeletons." And it's like all these enemies just come flying out of nowhere. I love her to death, dude. That was actually a really fun battle. I had fun with that one.
That was fun.
Yeah, she was a lot of fun. Your next interaction with her is not as fun.
No,
But
unfortunately not.
no, unfortunately not. I ended up springing for a new arquebus because it was superior,
Okay.
and so I ended up selling the old one off. A lot of fun, insane damage, no complaints there. That was before. That was
And
before
it's a
I went
non-unique,
to.
right?
It's a non-unique,
Okay.
but I tell you, it does the job just fine.
Hey, yeah, that's why they're there.
I got no complaints about my loadout right now. I think I got actually both my pistols are unique, so those are pretty sweet. But so I went to Galwain's Tusk,
I love your comment.
which
True.
Yeah, seriously, your
last-
first
Yeah.
look, your first impression of dwarves in Galwain's Tusk. Spoiler alert.
Sucks.
You see these guards with these prisoners, and you're like, hey, why aren't you feeding them? And even the prisoners telling you to go fuck yourself. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, man, like
They're assholes.
that was your dude. They're the worst. And then, oh my god, Marius! I yelled at Marius. Like I legit. It almost came to blows. There's actually a conversation that you have with the whole I had it with Kai and Giada, who were in my party at the time. By the way, Yahtzee is way more useful in the Tusks than Kai.
She is.
My current
I
is
wound up using
Yahtzee
her more
and
than
Giada.
Kai. That's exactly what I did.
Yeah. Yep. So I got my
Kind of-
healer and I
feel
got
like
my.
they kind of forced your hand to do that, though.
Well, yeah, because you keep coming across all these illusions, and the
All
only
over the
person that
place
can
in that
break
zone.
it is Yahtzee. Yeah. So, but Marius was going on like I don't like. Obviously, I haven't completed his story yet. He's not in my party. I talk to him unless he has a little icon above his head because I don't like talking to him.
Yeah, I'm the same
And
way.
it finally got pretty serious where I'm like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like, I was so pissed. And then you end up having a conversation, and Kai's like, maybe go easy on him. And I literally had the dialogue option. I saw it. I chose it immediately. It's like, he keeps running, I'm paraphrasing, of course. So he keeps running his mouth. I'm going to put him fucking down. It's like, whoa. It doesn't have to come to that, I don't think. It's not that serious. Giada's like, nah, I kind of get it. That was really, but maybe, yeah. And that's like, oh man, I just wish I could get rid of him.
I felt the same way.
I spent so much time running around like the southern half of the map because I think it's a little bit northeast of where you start. You come across this ogre's cave. I heard the woman Gilwyn,
Yeah.
I believe is her name, talking, and I followed it around. And I'm like, oh my god, that's an ogre, and I tried to shoot it.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
It wouldn't let me shoot him.
No.
So I go over there, and yeah, this ogre's like sick, and I'm like, all right, this will be cool. I'm like, yeah, I got the recipe, and because I had the Vanguard Scout option where it's like, yeah, I know what to get to cure your lung disease or whatever. But the one thing I could not find to save my life was I stumbled across the fire beetle node or whatever it
Was it
was.
the mushroom?
It was the anti-mushroom.
Yeah, I wound up
It's
having
like,
to look online for that.
dude, I spent way more time than I care to admit because it literally says if you go into the objective, it tells you exactly where to find it. You find it at the root of trees with red leaves that grow on top of rocks. The entire south side of that map is full of those
Yep.
damn trees.
And only one or
But
two trees have it.
only one or two actually have it. Yeah. So that was a little bit
I
brutal.
feel you, man. That's why I had to go look it up online and figure out exactly where those damn things were. Just
Oh
go
my
get 'em.
God, dude. So yeah, the last thing I went, obviously, I ended up going to the bridge to the garden. It's interesting how everybody keeps, like, everybody in that zone will keep telling you, like, dude, you look like our god. Or not,
Yeah.
it wasn't a god, it was
No,
like a
they're-
previous you that was like
yeah.
their hero.
What
It's
created
like the
their society.
Yeah. And like, you look a lot like, why do you look so familiar? I'm like, I don't know, you don't know me, stop it. So I got to Solace Keep and I ended where I talked to their leaders, the real big fans of you, by the way.
Oh yeah, complete a-holes like everyone else there.
Oh my God, dude, just
I'm really
it's
curious
so
what you're gonna think when you get to Marius' story, because Archon said
dude,
it
I
kind of
just
changed his perspective a little bit on him. It did not for me. He was still a whiny little
no,
bitch.
he's still like the worst freaking dude. He's so bad. And I get why he didn't want to go there, okay? Because he does go into that at camp if you talk to him. And if you paid attention to the prisoners at the beginning and a couple other conversations throughout that zone, you know that nobody there is allowed to leave. Like, it is like a capital offense to leave the Tusks. So I get that Marius, like, basically deserted and left and hasn't been back yet. So he's nervous that he's going to get imprisoned or whatever. But honestly,
Oh, no,
dude,
it
you're
gets
such
worse.
a dick.
Trust me, it gets worse. You're gonna love him.
Great. I still can't wait. I can't wait. But that was the long and short of my playthrough. Really, those were the highlights, I would say.
We're gonna have an extra long
those
episode, but that's good.
Yeah.
I think we could have gone in more detail with our playthroughs, but we got into a lot of detail of other things,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was fun. This is a fun episode.
It was. It was fun. I'm getting towards the end, so I'm getting a little bit excited about what's left to discover.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun, and you're not as far or close to as you think, like Archon told me. But
okay.
yeah, it's gonna be a blast, and I'm really excited to see what you think
Okay.
of it, because I got to finish the game, got to see my ending, and knowing that there's another 19 plus endings out there I can get. Yeah,
Yeah. That's
and I
pretty
see
dope.
how that can happen too.
Heck yeah, man. I'm really enjoying this game. I really am.
Can't wait to get back
It is
into
the
my Ranger.
it is the fantasy RPG that we've been needing for a long time.
So kudos, Obsidian, you did it.
Absolutely. Salute.
All right. So if you guys want to reach this show or any of our shows for any kind of business whatsoever, advertising on our shows, things like that, our email that is just for our entire podcasting network is podcastraw@gmail.com. PODCASTSRAW@gmail.com. Our Discord is the place to be. Come in, join the discussion, name my third character. Discord.gg/raw podcasts. RAWPODCASTS. Just put that in your browser and you'll get right in.
Easy peasy.
Yep. It's easy as that. Our Facebook is Raw Podcasts. Our Instagram.
Is Raw Podcast 1.
You can follow this show on Twitter, which I have been failing to update, @AvowedRaw. I'm going to, I promise I will do it. You can follow us individually as well. I am @TheWidget, THEWIGIT, everywhere.
And I am Kilo Tango 1122 everywhere.
Have a fantastic week in Avowed. Just, destroy everything.
Peace out.